game. But Japan can be a choky map, of course. So there will be, some board blocking and cordoning off of territories, but the unstable portals are going to help players navigate around that. So um, we'll have to see how it all shakes out. And the game is underway here, folks. Let's see what the players' spawns look like, and we'll also see if this turns into a bonus game. Japan has plenty of bonuses for all the players to take one, but is this lobby going to want to play that kind of game? If it was fixed, I think it would be a no-brainer, but because it's Prague, they do have the option to make this a non-bonus game if they choose. Looks like we have Nathaniel in the first position. He's thinking about how he wants to open. So if you're playing a bonus game as Nathaniel, you're probably looking at that bonus on the west side of the board towards the middle, where you have 5 of your troops in there, looking at 4 opposing troops total. Um, I believe that continent is worth +4. No, it's worth +5. Chugoku is the one I'm talking about there. Also, we do have alliances on, so the players are, they will be, sending various signals to each other. Not a whole lot of communication can go on in alliance chat, but uh, way more than zero communication happens in alliance chat, so it's at least something. And indeed, Nathaniel does go ahead and take the Chigoku bonus, +5 on turn 1 gifted to him, which not too shabby. Seeing a lot of thumbs up on Zeriki's screen. It's nice to see the diplomacy going well and all the players getting along. We have Sir Tyler in the second seat. So these players are gonna have to play a progressive game by maintaining as many positions as they can, and then naturally a 70% game because kills will matter. We probably will see a kill or two in this game, if not more. But kills don't necessarily win you the game. We see a break from Silent Legend in the third seat with almost no pomp and circumstance. Only needs 10 seconds of his 90-second turn to decide that he does not want Nathaniel to have that +5 bonus on his second turn. All right, and Zeriki in the fourth seat just quickly takes a card. Then we have Mamba in the fifth position. So Nathaniel said that, hey, I would like to play a bonus game. Excuse me. And Silent Legend, and it appears Mamba as well, have both said, no, let's not play a bonus game. So, entirely reasonable for Nathaniel to attempt the take, but also reasonable for his opponents that were not essentially, you know, gifted uh, an excellent spawn like that. Not surprising that they would opt for a non-bonus game. And then last but not least, well, yeah, he is last, but yeah, not least. We have Nub. Um, how's it going, Rugstar? I think yellow can, yeah, he did have that one on green there. But yeah, he was definitely low on card options. I think that was his only one if he didn't want to hit a 2. All right, Nathaniel's up. Only gets 3. I'm sure he would have liked to have gotten 8 instead of his 3 here. But he is going to not insist on the bonus. If the board doesn't want him to hold a bonus, he will not be able to. So The players here are gonna have to have a mind for two objectives, right? Uh, well, well, really three, right? But overall, you're gonna want to try and balance out how you forward the typical objectives of a progressive game, which is, you know, line up a potential bounty in the future and avoid being lined up yourself, right? As well as the objectives of a 70% game, right? Which would be choke up the board to prevent your opponents from running and position your stacks such that you optimize your own path for your future 70 run. So normally you see 70 fixed games to where you're kind of only focusing on the run, or you see Prague World Dom games to where you're really only focusing on the Prague play. But the fact that this is both, aside from the fact that it probably means it'll be a quick game, it does mean that the players will have to juggle a little bit uh, more competing objectives than they might normally. All right, we see Zerki making use of the portals. So as far as spawns are concerned, I really don't see any terrible spawns from anyone. Uh, I think perhaps Nub may be in the worst position spawn wise, but he is trying to rectify that. I was about to say he didn't have anything west on the west side, and he just now moved west with that 5 stack there. Um, but I believe overall that so aside from Nathaniel getting an excellent spawn from a bonus, all the players got excellent spawns as far as being able to spread out their positions. And as you can probably tell, they're continuing to spread themselves out to make sure that they're as hard as possible, as difficult as possible for someone to think about taking them out. Interesting board to analyze to see who has lines on who. So if you're green, you would typically want to line up orange, which green does not really have a presence on the right hand side of this board. He does have a 5 stack, but that is blocked off by 2 4 stacks, um, not of the color that he would be pursuing. As far as the orange lines on purple, orange does not have a good way at the moment to get to that 5 in the middle of the board. Um, and I suppose that 4 in the bottom right also. But he's got decent lines on purple everywhere else. Uh, Purple lines on blue. So yeah, so speaking of purple lines on blue, Zerki attacks down, which uh, on that island structure there, or I shouldn't say structure, formation. Um, so that 4 is now better positioned to go north for silence towards silence 4, that purple 4 that's up there. There's still a red 2 between them, but he's Zeraki closed the space there with that positioning. Um, yeah. So we're getting into the fourth round here, which normally by the second round we've talked about the bonuses. So we'll just go ahead and quickly talk about the bonuses now. You have a few plus threes. The Ryukyu Islands +3, which is um, pictorially located in the top left of the screen of the map, but those islands are physically actually in the bottom left, so it's just a way to get everything to fit on the map and try and represent it like that. The other +3 is Hokkaido, which is the island in the northeast. Then you have two +4s. You have Shikoku and Okinawa. Shikoku is that three territory island just south of the bonus Nathaniel originally tried to take. Then you have Okinawa to the west of those bonuses. Then you have some +5s. You got Shikoku, Kansai, Kanto, and Tohoku. Um, so basically, those are all the rest of the bonuses except for the big +8 in the middle, which is Chubu. I probably butchered the pronunciations of those, but I tried my best. So there you go. Those are the bonuses. We don't see any serious slamming or anything like that going on just yet. So just a few more map informational tidbits, particularly with the fact that this is the Japan map, as well as the fact that it's a 70% game. Um, this map has 50 territories and 9 bonuses, but when you run the 70, you're going to need 35 of those 50 territories in order to win the game. So 35 is the 70 run count for this game, for this map. That is, you will need to conquer every territory on the map except for 15. All right, so just getting that out there for your awareness. I'm sure that most of you in the chat probably already know that, but uh, there's also some of you like me that don't have all the stats perfectly memorized. So I uh, I always can use a reminder like that, especially because counting to 50 that just takes way too long. Anyway, I'm aware that there's easier ways to do it, but yeah. All right, so we see the portals are about to change again, and we see the players are entering the fifth round of play here. So we're approaching the time of the game where the sets will begin to emerge. It does not appear as though anyone has card skipped yet. So if that still is the case, everyone will get the natural trade respective to their position. Nathaniel goes ahead and moves down to occupy a portal there. Tyler has 3 6 stacks and a 5 stack. Then he's got a 2 stack in the middle of Chubu that he hasn't shown too much love to, but doesn't really seem like it's being bothered. Zaraki. I think Zaraki may have the best position on this map just by virtue of the fact that he occupies a position on both of the corners of this map, right? So the far end of the Ryukyu Islands and the far end of Hokkaido, you cannot, you physically can't get further away. Now, unfortunately, the portals do close that gap a little bit, but no one's going to be looking for bounties on the first trade. I don't think, yeah, no one's been hit nearly hard enough for anyone to be thinking about first trade bounties. Now, I will say, just based off of troop count, it does appear as though Nathaniel may have the short end of the stick. So if you notice, the first 3 players here are right around or just under 30 before trading, whereas the bottom 3 players in the turn order are just above 30. So not too significant a detail yet, but it is interesting to just monitor the reinforcement strength um, of each player. So Nathaniel does trade in for 4. Tyler's gonna go ahead and drop the 6. Looks like he had a +2. One of his 6s turned into an 8 over there on the west side of the map. +2s are always nice to see. And we do see also that Zareki has a +2 when his turn comes up, assuming that his 3 positioned isn't removed, which Nathaniel didn't remove it. So it would only be Tyler that could. Well, I suppose Silent could, but he's not going to go all the way over there to hit that 3. So we see some 9s, an 11, an 8 stack. Still no love for his 2. That's fine. How's it going, Quarantined? Yes, it is indeed Prague. This is a progressive 70 game. So a delicate balancing act is at play for these players as they try to juggle um, lining up kills, staying safe, as well as blocking up the board, right? So Silent went ahead and dropped the 8 match. Zareki dropped the 10 and got a nice little +2. One of the best fixed 70 maps in a fixed 70 tournament, and it's Prague. Shameful. Uh, yeah, Japan is definitely a fun fixed map. Um, but I can tell that this is also for Prague. This is also playing out fairly interestingly. So Mamba goes ahead and turns in his 12 set. And we do have a Rugster in the chat, Dad in the bleachers, cheering on Red. It's always nice to see. Of course, if I was playing and it was my dad, I would just be getting yelled at the whole time. Why didn't you do this? No ice cream for you. But yeah. Anyway, this isn't about me. So speaking of changing the subject, Nub 2.0 turns in the 15 match, which ends the first round of trading here. And Mamba dropped a large 17 stack back in the Ryukyu Islands there, which once the portal goes away, that will be a solid kill guard on Zareki, assuming that the portals don't reset into the same exact territory back there, which sometimes that does happen. It's just unlikely to happen. So I think it's a reasonable move by Mamba if he wants to kill guard. The only thing that may be an issue is uh, a kill guard backfires on you if that player is hunting you, right? And Zareki does come right before Mamba in the turn order. So um, that may not end up being an issue, but it's certainly something to watch out for if you're Mamba. So we do see the portal switch off, and we're given the heads up on where the new portals are going to emerge. One of which is going to be on that Mamba 17 stack. Another of which is going to be on a 10 stack for Nub 2.0 right in the middle of the board. And then Nathaniel happens to occupy uh, a portal with a 9 stack. Looks like that's where he wants his card from. And he's going to sit there with his 8. Surprised they went full no bonus. Well, yeah, Nathaniel tried to take a bonus early, and Silent broke him, and Mamba moved in. So yeah, the board sent a clear signal that they did not want a bonus game, which I think Well, I don't think if this was fixed, this would 100% be a bonus game. But because it's Prague, um, they had the option to play no bonus, and that's what most of the board decided to choose. So the fact that this is not a bonus game does mean um, that in the aggregate, the matches are a smidge stronger despite being the same number, just because there's going to be less total troops on the board of a non-bonus game than there otherwise would be on the board of a bonus game. So because of that, cards have slightly more value than they otherwise would. So we do see Mamba card skip, and we also see Zareki with no trade on 4. We're about to enter the second round of trades, and things are going to get spicy based off of what we see in Zareki's hand and the number of cards that Mamba has. Does Nub decide to take a card? Looks like he does. Nub goes to 4 cards. Of course, the next question is, does he have a set, or does he have Zareki's Rotten Luck? No set on 4 in the second round of trades in the final game of a tournament. Not sure if it gets more. I'm not sure if it gets more unlucky than that. And the cherry on top is Zareki is in arguably one of the best seats that you can be in turn order wise, in the 4th position. So now Nathaniel's thinking about setting in now or waiting to go to 5 cards. Or he may also be looking at a no set on 4. Nope. Nathaniel turns in his 20 trade. Puts 7 troops on the portal. And another 7 in Chigoku. And the remaining 8 right in the middle of Chubu. Or 8, and then the last one somewhere else. Right next to Chubu. And then decides to move out of Chigoku. That looks like a move to block the board up. So that 10 snuggled up right against Nub 2.0's 10. That does provide a bit of a speed bump for anyone who's getting a larger trade than him, than Nathaniel, to slow down any potential 70 runs. So Tyler is going to turn in the 25 trade. So these players are not getting trades that are quite big enough to go for any bounties just yet. Also not quite big enough to go for the run. But we'll likely see Tyler do what Nathaniel did and place a speed bump somewhere in the road here. If you can't run it yet, you should try and do what you can to slow others down from running it. So Tyler moves into the portal in the middle of the board. That's kind of a roadblock. It's one less portal that folks are going to be inclined to access. Silent turns in the 30 trade, puts 25 of those troops right in Okinawa. Actually, I don't think the title of that bonus over there is just Okinawa. I think there's like another word or phrase to it. But anyway, you guys see where the 30 stack is. Zareki will not be turning in the 35 trade, unfortunately. But he may have a chance at life here. Um, had Mamba gone for a card last turn, he might be in good shape. But I think I will say that Mamba, it's probably more likely that Mamba does have a set on 3. So if Zareki takes a card here, uh, I would not be surprised if Mamba sets on 3 to try and take Zareki out on 5. Mamba card skipped last turn. His very last turn, he did not take a card. So Zareki is going to take a card, not trade in, goes to 5. Mamba indeed does set on 3, going to take advantage, will perhaps take advantage, we'll see here. But he gets the 35 trade. We already see Zareki throwing out the oops. Does he go for the Zareki kill? Does he have it? He doesn't. He does not really have a good way to get to the Zareki 6. The blue 6 in the middle of Chubu, he does not have a good path for. He would have to blow through a nub 10. He would have to blow through that yellow 10 to get to that Zareki 6 in there. Looks like he's going to start with that. Of course, now he needs to have enough off of his 14 to get down to the 5. Needs to have enough there to get the 8 and the 1. 12 to 4 should be enough. 12 to 6 is enough. 9 to 5 is enough. He's got this kill. Excellent kill by Mamba there. GG's to Zareki. Unfortunate with the no set on 4 there. And very well played to Mamba being able to sneak that kill in there. First kill of the game goes to Mamba. And then he trades for 40. Throwing the 40 trade on the board. Gives him not only the troop lead, but also actually this, I don't think he has a card lead because he did card skip last turn. So this just puts him on par. But it looks like he is going for the run here. He still has a 25 stack and a 13 stack to use. He's already on 50% here. He's going to quickly get to 60. He's got a 90-second turn timer, but it is fading. He should have this here. And indeed he does. Mamba taking the kill and the W. And also the championship title of Best Summer Road Tripper. So